I've talked about this on the channel to some degree or another before, but as a lot of you probably know by now, especially if you follow my Twitter, I'm a big fan of professional wrestling. Larger-than-life personalities, amazing displays of strength, skill, and athleticism, and just the right mix of drama, action, triumph, and heartbreak. This wild, weird, and wonderful form of combat theater is something I've dedicated a lot of time to in my life. But despite how often I've talked about it or made references to it in other videos, I've never really taken the time to just talk about how I got into wrestling, what made me look at this world full of muscular people in spandex, talking trash and fighting over opulent gold and leather trophies, and think to myself, I'll have a bit of that, so I hope y'all don't mind indulging me for a while as I spend this video yammering on about pro wrestling for a bit and tell you about the match, and the specific moment therein, that really solidified me as a pro wrestling fan. Oh, and I know it might seem a bit silly to do this, but just in case you were watching WWE shows from about 2004 lately, big time heckin' spoilers ahead.
It is in everybody's best interest to realize that there is only one diamond in this business. And you're looking at him.
So let's set the mood a little bit here by taking a trip back in time to the wild, wacky, and 2004 sticky year of 2004.
I just wanna live.
Ah yes, October 2004, when Good Charlotte released their third studio album, The Chronicles of Life and Death, when the Boston Red Sox vanquished the so-called Curse of the Bambino and won their first World Series since 1918, when Ashley Simpson infamously lip-synced on an episode of Saturday Night Live, and when the PlayStation 2 saw the release of such classics as Blood Rain 2, Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and Mortal Kombat Deception.
And my quest plays some part in their duty?
I will not explain further.
In the world of WWE, Monday Night Raw was in the latter half of the so-called Reign of Terror, a period from 2002 to early 2005 where the show was dominated by Triple H's white-knuckle grip on the show's top prize, the World Heavyweight Championship, with most challengers being dispatched either by Triple H himself or by way of his cohorts in the group known as Evolution, with seemingly no end in sight. On September 20th, 2004, WWE Chairman Vince McMahon announced a revolutionary pay-per-view concept, one that he dubbed the ultimate in fan participation, Taboo Tuesday. On this show, some facet of every single match on the card would be decided by a fan vote. Fans could vote on title challengers, what kind of match someone would have, what would happen to a match's loser. The power was firmly in the hands of the people. Of course, the biggest decision that people would have to make that night was who was to challenge Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. And in the Cerebral Assassin's crosshairs were no less than 3 potential challengers. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, Triple H's former friend turned bitter foe, and someone who had many times gone to war with Triple H over the world title. Edge, someone who had become a thorn in Evolution's side in the year 2004 since joining the Raw roster, and who had made no bones about his belief that he, and he alone, could win the big gold. And Chris Benoit, who I'm gonna make an effort to talk about as little as humanly possible in this video for what I really hope are obvious reasons.
I want to reach out! But Eddie, you only got one vote.
Taboo Tuesday, October 19th, 2004, live from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the night where the fate of Monday Night Raw superstars and championships were firmly in the people's hands. Shortly after the opening match, which saw Shelton Benjamin capture the Intercontinental Championship from Chris Jericho, we got the results of the poll that would determine Triple H's challenger for the world title. After some final words from the candidates and a moment of suspense, the polls closed and the results were in. Triple H's challenger would be the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. There were just 2 problems with this. 1, Shawn Michaels was going into the match injured, and 2, that injury wasn't part of any storyline. You see, just 24 hours earlier, on the Raw before Taboo Tuesday, the three potential challengers had a triple threat match designed to curry favor with the people and garner their support and potential votes. At some point during that match, Shawn Michaels had torn the meniscus of his left knee, and this wasn't some injury in kayfabe, meaning part of the storyline as it was written. This was legitimate, but despite that injury and how it would drastically reduce the odds of him beating someone as vicious and cunning as Triple H, the people still voted him in, believing that the showstopper could pull out one more miracle, as he had done many times before. Needless to say though, Edge wasn't exactly one of those believers.
Shawn, you should have dropped out of this. There was 6%, 6% difference between us, and those votes would have gone to me. You took it away, you selfish son of a bitch.
I mean, on the plus side, it's not like Edge would go home completely empty-handed. After all, the two people who didn't get voted in to face Triple H would receive a match for the World Tag Team titles, but for Edge, a man who had already been a tag team champion in WWE 10 times by that point, it felt like little more than a pittance. So much so that he straight up walked out on Chris Benoit during said title match, and he just kept on walking, right up until he got to his rental car and left the Bradley Center altogether. I mean, you know, it's not like he was fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship, and he certainly didn't care about the tag titles, so there was totally no reason for him to stick around. Right? Am I laying on this foreshadowing a little thick? 'Cause I think it might be a little thick. And now it comes to this, the World Heavyweight Championship on the line, the game, the cerebral assassin, Triple H, one-on-one with the Heartbreak Kid, the showstopper, the icon, Shawn Michaels, on one good leg. Most times in a situation like this, the injured party would either be quickly defeated or written out of the title match altogether in order to protect them from further injury and get someone in there who's 100%, but damn, credit to Shawn Michaels, he toughed it out and gave the people what they voted for, injury be damned. For his part, Triple H, in kayfabe of course, swore up and down the night before on Raw that he didn't even believe Shawn was injured. After all, Triple H had known the man for years, and it's not like Shawn wouldn't feign an injury at other points in his career. But man, if Shawn's leg wasn't hurt going into the match, he was damn sure hurting during it. It didn't take long for the cerebral assassin to target that left leg of Shawn Michaels, beating and ripping and tearing away at that injury to ensure that his former friend wouldn't have a chance in hell of taking away the World Heavyweight Championship. But through all of this, through all of the pain, through all of Triple H's mind games, Shawn Michaels wouldn't give up and even refused to let the referee stop the match for the sake of his health. And what's more is, Shawn actually started to gain the upper hand. Slowly, bit by bit, Shawn dug incredibly deep, pulling out all the stops to overcome the searing pain he was surely in and get the edge over Triple H. The crowd in the Bradley Center truly got behind Shawn Michaels, ready to jump out of their seats in celebration of a new champion, believing, despite the odds, that the showstopper would win the gold. Sure enough, Shawn Michaels hit his finisher, Sweet Chin Music, putting the champion's lights out. Surely all he had to do was turn around and pin Triple H and win that oh-so-coveted world title. And then... Shawn Michaels' championship dreams were dashed, cut down by a vicious, vindictive spear, delivered by none other than Edge. And I gotta tell you, that one singular moment with that shot of a wild-eyed manic Edge backing up through the crowd, screaming, "It should have been me," I was hooked. I just had to know what was gonna happen next. Who was next in line to challenge Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship? Would Shawn Michaels seek retribution against Edge once his leg was healed? Who else would suffer the wrath of a newly heel-turned Edge as he raged against that damn 6%? All I knew for sure is that, in that moment, as Shawn Michaels was being helped out of the arena by referees, being showered with the praise and respect of the Milwaukee crowd for that gutsy performance, I knew that I was in it for the long haul. That match and that moment ensured that I was going to be hooked on the world of pro wrestling for a very, very long time. So, what about you? If you like pro wrestling, what was the match or the moment that made you a fan? Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like if you liked it, subscribe for more in the future, share this video on your favorite social medias, and ring the bell so you always know whenever I upload. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video, friendos.
Woo!